What kind of episode this man?
Another junction in life.
I have 2 left foot then, sir.
Yeah, know. Yeah, man. See the buckle of the Nigeria now.
This is my show and you will not drop word from me.
They even know them things.
TJ, I can't say that no. You're going to mash up some house.
You know, say barber shop is really there ready to make your cut.
So, what you cut before? The cut, okay.
Now I'm where I wanna be.
The Cut is brought to you by Flow.
Find Central Pitside, brought to you by Edgechem, AIM Financial Corporation, Texaco, and Connex.
Small business owners and independent contractors get affordable insurance with Sagicor Pro Shield. The time by Sagicor Life is
7. Coming up in CVM News at 7. PNP gaining ground according to the latest Don Anderson polls. Police detained 10 Cubans in St. James allegedly fleeing hardships. And certification for Jamaican grave diggers now a possibility. We also have our Sunday premiere of Inspire Jamaica, while in sports, World Athletics ratifies Jaden Hibbert's World Under-20 triple jump record. From Kingston, Jamaica, this is CVM News at 7 for Sunday, October 27, 2024, the weekend edition. I'm Caroline Brown. Good evening and thanks so much for joining us. Well, we begin with politics. The opposition People's National Party, the PNP, is building momentum after the latest Don Anderson poll revealed its biggest lead yet in recent months, ahead of the governing Jamaica Labour Party. The poll featured in the Sunday Gleaner showed a 9.1 percentage point lead in favor of the Mark Golding-led PNP as the political landscape heats up for another general election. Capturing voter intent of 1,012 Jamaicans, the Don Anderson-led Market Research Services Limited, MRSL, found 39.3% of voters 18 and older were inclined to the PNP when compared to 30.2% in favor of the JLP. Now this in addition to 28.4% of the voters polled who remained unsure which party they'd support in the next election. The report notes the survey was conducted between September 27 and October 3 with a margin of error of plus or minus 3%. It also boasted a confidence level of 95%. The opinion poll was reportedly funded by non-aligned, publicly traded private sector interests. Of course, CVM News will have more details in subsequent newscasts. And at a People's National Party meeting in northwestern St. Elizabeth, opposition leader Mark Golding bashed the government and its alleged lack of sustainable plans for the country. He was promoting his party's newest candidate. We'll have more on that for you in a moment. We actually do have that story for you.
People need to see the social investments that are necessary to uplift them and uplift their lives and give them a chance so they don't have to think about foreign. But no, yard can be nice too. And that is our job as our government, is to make the yard nice. So that the people, them, our Jamaican people, their foreign can come home as well and invest in their country. But they want to have a proper health system. They want to have a proper school system. And they want to feel safe in the yard too. And this government don't have no plan to deal with the problem of national security either. All they know about is extreme measures, state of emergency. And we know that that is not a tool that has worked because we have seen how it has failed over the 8 years. We need a holistic plan for dealing with this matter, investing in the youth, giving the youth another chance, mentorship, skills training. The private sector has had to step into the breach because this government has done nothing for the youth. The private sector has tried what they can with a thing called Project Star. And I respect Project Star for what it is doing. But it's very limited in its scope. It's only touching a few communities because the government is not putting the resources behind it that they should.
To other news now, the police in St. James say 10 Cuban men who arrived by boat between Saturday and Sunday are now in their custody. It's understood some of the Cubans who speak little English fled their nation allegedly due to hardship. The Zone 1 commander told CVM News the migrants have been receiving meals, medical checks and humane treatment.
The Cubans are coming. Days after Hurricane Oscar battered sections of the Spanish-speaking country amid a nationwide power outage, 2 batches of men arrived by boat in western Jamaica.
Now on Saturday, October 26, about 6:30 a.m., 7 males, whom we later found out were Cuban nationals, entered Jamaica shore. All 7 individuals were intercepted by the police along the Unity Hall main road after they had dismounted 3 vessels along the coast there between the border of Hanover and St. James. Now, all 7 individuals were taken to the Montego Bay police station where they are currently detained, and the investigation continues as it relates to their illegal entry into this island.
But that's not all, as ASP Reed shares another arrival sometime Sunday morning.
About 10:43 a.m., another vessel with 3 male, who we also later found out were Cuban nationals, entered the shores. And at this time, they docked at the Half Moon Hotel, and they were taken also to the Montego Bay police station where the investigations continue as it relates to their illegal entry.
As medical screenings continue for the men, the police are yet to be notified of any medical concerns. The authorities also have interpreters on hand to bridge the language gap with our Spanish-speaking neighbors, a few who blamed hardships in Cuba for their migration.
The 7 that entered on Saturday, 2 of these individuals were able to communicate in English, not wholesome, but we were able to understand what they were saying. One such individual indicated hardship in his country. Nonetheless, we have interpreters who are communicating with them so we can follow through with the necessary police investigations.
Meantime, the Zone 1 commander is assuring that the men have been receiving the warmth of Jamaicans even in detention.
Yes, as a country, we are very hospitable and we love to have visitors here. And so we want all visitors to enter our shores the legal and proper way. As it relates to these individuals, whilst they came here illegally, we still afforded them all the humanitarian aspects of our hospitable nature here in St. James, and they were allowed to have meals, they were allowed to have a shower.
There's been much talk about Jamaica's obligations to its regional neighbors, namely Cuba and Haiti, as they straddle varying crises in recent times. Nika Lewis, CVM News.
Now, residents of a community in Kingston are vexed by raw sewage that's been forcing them out of the comfort of their homes. They're hoping their pleas can be heard and help will come swiftly. Trisha Gay Kelly has their story.
It's been quite a struggle for residents in Garden Terrace, Kingston, who have long suffered the unbearable sight and scent of sewage in their community. The issue begins on the main road, where all community members must venture to go about their day-to-day business. One business owner in the community, Shireen Francis, says the situation in recent days has caused her to lose customers, with sewage water constantly running across the street.
The scent of the sewage is terrible, man, and the water running. People don't have anywhere to walk to work. And this has been going on for days. Right? This is bad for human consumption. Trust me. You can't stand nowhere out here. As you can see, the young people out here in their water boats on the main road.
But what's more concerning to them is the murky liquid entering their personal space. Residents explain they're forced to cook and eat elsewhere due to the unbearable stench. They say they've suffered for over a decade.
About 13 to 14 years now struggling with this. You call the water commission, they come today, them fix, then by the time them leave, we have this water sewage problem coming over into the yard. The water go through my daughter's room, flood it out, raw sewage going in my daughter's room, and we have to sweep and wash out. And we're tired right now, we're not living no more of this.
Health is also a major issue in the community, as many residents are concerned they could contract viruses. One mother, Janelle, says she's worried about her baby, who has been in and out of the hospital.
From Saturday night, my daughter children with my baby too, she wheeze and come up Monday morning. Her skin delicate, every minute she full of one bag of bump and the scent. It's very embarrassing. It's very right now you want to come see in my yard. In my yard is very stink. The water just run. You know, early me have to carry up my baby got daycare because me don't want she in this because she just come from children's. We need to do something about this, man. A long time we go through.
It's the reason why the residents are calling on the National Water Commission NWC to investigate the matter and provide a permanent solution. Trisha Gay Kelly, CVM News.
Now, if being certified is a requirement in all fields of work, why shouldn't grave diggers be included? Exactly. And that's why one local organization is promoting certification for this set of skilled laborers. Now, with the implementation of a fairly new program fast approaching, stakeholders are encouraging eligible individuals to apply. Here again is Trisha Gay Kelly.
It's not something you hear about every day, but that doesn't make it less important. The Kevoy Community Development Institute Jamaica, KCDI, has partnered with the National Council on Technical Vocational Education and Training, NCTVET, to offer training for workers in the internment sector. It sounds odd. However, one stakeholder explains it's most vital at this time. KCDI's Executive Chair Donovan McLaren says they will be offering a course, namely the Internment Operation Gravedigger Level 2 training program. But is certification in this field necessary? McLaren believes it is.
They are categorized as laborers in the current market space, and if you look in certain surveys, they're not even on the labor market surveys. Gravediggers can now obtain a CVQ for their skill set, which will enable them to travel within the Caribbean and apply their trade, and also increase their remuneration and their standard of living, because they now will be considered as a professional.
McLaren says the team identified a lack within the sector, with most of these skilled laborers being uncertified. His desire is to change that narrative for them.
We look into the space and we saw that there was a training needs. After doing our survey, there was a gap wherein this occupational skill set had no qualification standard, and we're speaking across the Caribbean. But as they normally say, pass and christening pick the first, the Jamaican term, and we believe that the qualifications should first of all start with Jamaica.
To enroll in the program, interested individuals can apply through the NCTVET Heart NSTA Trust. Employers in the sector are also being informed about the program to recommend to their employees. Though anyone can apply, there is a target group.
Those who are already in the sector, because as we said, that will speak to now the job certification for all persons working currently in the burial sector, meaning you are employed to a company or an organization, you therefore qualified for entrance.
The partnership will also feature an NCTVET certified assessor course which can be used in the region. Trisha Gay Kelly, CVM News.
In recent times, the University of Technology announced an increase in tuition, leading students to take to social media venting about the issue. As a result, the Jamaica Students' Union at the university has reintroduced over 20 scholarships. Student Union President Rick Darby announced plans to assist students as best as possible.
We have decided as a council that we will reintroduce a total of 21 scholarships. So, and the total summation of these scholarships is $2.4 million. So the scholarships are as follows. So the University of Technology Students Union Alfred Sangster Scholarship, which is available to fourth-year students of all schools. All they are required is at least a B+ average, and that allocation is $150,000. The University of Technology Jamaica Students Union President Scholarship, available to all final year students with at least a B average, and $145,000 is allocated to that scholarship. We have also introduced the Western Campus Chairperson Scholarship, which is valued at $140,000, and it is available to any Western Campus student.
More news after this.
The internationally acclaimed On Stage with Winfred Williams.
At a new time, Saturdays at 8 p.m. on CVM TV.
So much more than entertainment.
What's your story? What's your sign? Who dreamers? Hear what other people say. We're doing this in our own way. We come alive. We come alive. We come alive. We're doing this in our own way. We come alive.
You know my heart goes crazy when you bring the lips to time. Let's explore our love. We'll leave the world behind. Can you feel this beat?
This is Schoolboy Football, September 7 to December 14 on CVM TV.
Schoolboy Football, brought to you by Edgechem, AIM Financial Services, Texaco, and Connix.
Welcome back. It's out with the old and in with the new, as Jamaica received a new cold room at the NHF Pharmaceutical Warehouse, fit for storing critical vaccines and medication. The building, which was commissioned by Japan in partnership with UNICEF, is valued at over $1 million. Courtney Lewis tells us more.
Great emphasis is being placed on the importance of vaccination. The latest efforts being the installation of a cold room to the National Health Fund's NHF pharmaceutical warehouse to improve vaccine and medication storage.
The protection of these medicines, vaccines in this case, is absolutely critical. And the modernization of this warehouse with this addition is also symbolic of the importance that we place on it as a government going forward in the post-COVID period.
The minister says greater need for preparation and resilient health infrastructure became evident, especially after the COVID-19 pandemic. The $1.5 million investment was made possible through collaboration with Japan and UNICEF. The Japanese ambassador commissioned the new addition on Thursday.
Japan is pleased to note that Jamaica has improved the capacity for rapid development and rapid access to vaccines island-wide.
As part of building capacity, 300 technicians have been trained and 700 medical practitioners identified. The new building also increases storage quality for medicines valued $2 to $3 billion on average.
We know that vaccination is essential to protect children from diseases and to prevent around 4.4 million of deaths annually.
UNICEF's Deputy Regional Director, Claire Ann Dufay, also spoke to the importance of public education in childhood immunization and preventing childhood deaths and diseases. Dr. Tufton conceded, adding the strengthening of health and wellness in all aspects is dependent on continuous collaboration with international partners. Courtney Lewis for CVM News.
We now have regional and international news.
We begin with news in the region. Barbados is set to be the hub for emergency management in the Caribbean. By January 2025, the regional logistics hub and center of excellence, where items to be used in cases of emergency are to be housed, will be put into action. The CBC has that story.
It was during the height of the COVID-19 pandemic that officials first saw the need for a facility such as this, a regional logistics hub and center of excellence. It is here that emergency items will be stored to be used in the aftermath of disasters. The facility is expected to mitigate some of the logistical challenges faced by the Caribbean, which came to the fore during the pandemic. Minister of Home Affairs Wilfred Abrams explains why Barbados was chosen.
Barbados is a good place to chase the hurricanes from. The weather affects us first. Once it has passed us, it then goes on to the rest. So if the hub is here and we need to draw from supplies here, we can do that, but we can equally follow behind the hurricane to those who are affected as they're affected.
The Guyana Human Rights Association has expressed the need for a revision of current policing strategies in the country. The organization believes that changes are necessary to improve law enforcement practices and ensure the protection of citizens' rights. More from Newsroom Guyana.
The Guyana Human Rights Association, GHRA, is adamant that the concept of policing in Guyana needs to be revised. The GHRA's position comes on the heels of a number of issues plaguing the Guyana police force and, more specifically, President Irfan Ali's intention to confirm Clifton Hicken as police commissioner and the recommendation of 240 charges against Assistant Commissioner of Police Calvin Brutus by the Special Organized Crime Unit. These issues, according to the association, raise legal, ethical, constitutional, and accountability issues, which can only be averted by transformation.
And in international news, a speech by Israel's prime minister has been interrupted at a memorial ceremony in Jerusalem. Meanwhile, Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, said Israel's airstrikes should not be downplayed nor exaggerated. We turn to the BBC.
What Mr. Netanyahu said in what were his first public comments, his office had
had made statements, but these are his first comments in public about the Israeli attack on Iran. I mean, nothing I think that you wouldn't expect, essentially echoing what the Israeli military had said, that these were precise strikes, military targets were attacked, and that it was highly successful and highly effective. He did also have a few words for the Iranian people, saying that Israel's battle wasn't with them. I mean, there has been an effort by the Israeli government to try to separate its actions against the leadership of Iran and all that infrastructure and the people. I think the aim is to try to capitalize on the fact that within Iran, amongst many people, the Iranian authorities are not popular. We've seen mass protests over the past few years. So I think that's what he was trying to do with that. Just to say, at one of the events that he was speaking at, he was heckled quite strongly by people who were attending it, from families who had been involved in the attacks on October the 7th, Israeli families who had suffered from that.
That's it for regional and international news. I'm Nika Lewis.
Young Ajane is one of the patients living with scoliosis who was shortlisted for free corrective surgery under the USA mission to Jamaica. Now, that offer has hit a snag with ongoing issues at the Children's Hospital critical to the process coming to the fore. For this Inspire Jamaica, as planned, we continue our discussion with her mother to this point.
Reach out and touch somebody's hand. Make this world a better place. If you can.
When I go to school, people trouble me and call me broke back girl.
Raw and poignant, the words filtering to this mother from her 11-year-old, a student of Green Pond Primary. Through tears she's unable to suppress, some of her other guarded secrets come out.
When I live up with my baby sister, my back hurts, so I have to put her down. And it's sad to see that I can't lift up my baby sister. I miss her birthday one time just because of my back. Just like a disadvantage today.
Sandra Aitchison says she's been helpless for too long, silently cowering under the intensity and depth of her eldest agony. Her own fragility threatened but shelved as the answers about an immediate next best treatment option seem distant with each ask after the back brace failed and the curvature worsens.
He said that the next thing to do would be to do the surgery. I said to the doctor, but I thought you told me that she couldn't do the surgery until she was fully mature or she's of age then. He said that they can do the surgery and they'll use something like growing rods that they would place in the spine and so on. He told me about the surgeons that would come down from America and so on. Then they would try to get her on the list. We did everything that they asked.
Blood donors, the works, awaiting the week of the 21st of October, but then a major heated setback.
He said that the operating theaters, they're not in good working conditions and they don't have the proper equipments. Equipments are not being sterilized and so on, and he doesn't want to go ahead to do the surgery on her and then it becomes a case where something happens and she gets some form of infection and then we would sue. That's the biggest problem. My biggest fear for her is that her scoliosis is going to progress to where we can no longer do the surgery or do a surgery and it starts affecting her breathing and even her walking.
Ajane still has something to be very proud about.
When I do my exams, I'm very proud of myself and what I have done and what I'm studying. But the more and more I do that, I'm going to go into high school soon, and it's going to be much worse. Because people are going to trouble me more than the primary kids.
Well, the good news continues because Miss Etchison and her daughter, they're here at the University Hospital of the West Indies, where she has been referred. What is to come next, you wait and see, but for now her daughter is at the Accident and Emergency Department. Here's how she says they ended up at the University Hospital of the West Indies.
I got a call from the COO at Boston. She said that they're going to give me the referral for me to go over to UE. So far, no one has said anything to me about any charge being given to me. So to the best of my knowledge, it will be done for free.
The Health Ministry has committed to take on the cash burden.
Reach out and touch somebody's hand. Make this world a better place if you can.
And that's it from the news desk. Sports is up next with Ronaldo Adams.